Good morning, everybody. If you're tuning in this morning with me, it is 10:20 for our 10 o'clock class. You know, these colder mornings, it's harder for me to get out of my bed, and, I have this cat, and she loves to lay on me, and sometimes I just can't get up. But thanks for tuning in if you're here. So today is this is 60 yogic minutes, our last niyama. So we've gone through all the yamas, working on our last niyama. So the first two limbs of yoga, here we are, right? We have all the information that we need, at least some of the information that we need to be able to bring in our yogic life instead of just coming to our mat. The rubber rectangle is lovely, but it isn't where yoga begins and ends. Yoga begins and ends every time you wake up in the morning and every time you go to sleep at night. It's practiced throughout the day, not just when we're on our mat and in our body. So today our practice is going to be around Ishvara Pranidhana. So, these Sanskrit words, sometimes they get a little jumbly in my head. But so it's the jewel of surrender. It's the practice of surrendering everything, letting go of your ego, releasing all effort, and just giving it to whatever your source is. So, recognizing that there is a higher power outside of who you are, outside of this body. It doesn't have to be the word God. It can be anything, really, that you want to recognize as something greater than who you are or greater than you. And a source that you can work with. And it's not a source that is attempting to work against you or punish you or, it's really a loving source that is, it's, almost like that parental figure that you need in your life, that you have necessarily, like, you don't always want to have them around, but at the same time, you always want to have them around. It's just a good place to come from when you start your practice of yoga, or when you're, since this is the last niyama, it's like after you did all that stuff, at the end of it, just let everything else go and surrender. So again, if you call it God or Great Spirit, Creator, Source, Universe, maybe the ocean is the place that you go, and that's where your source is. That's where you can surrender all of your stuff to, or the desert, or the woods, or nature. I always tend to go to nature. That's always my go-to spot for that kind of thing. It's where I find my source. So Ishvara Pranidhana is to find presence in each moment as we set our ego aside and open our hearts to love and acceptance. So it's not just like giving up and just being like, when in doubt, just give up. No, the word surrender here isn't to not fight a good fight if you need to fight. Like right now we're in an elevated space of social justice. We're in a place where us as people who are yoga practitioners need to, instead of like working through love and light and like, I wish that everything's great. That's lovely, except for the fact that it doesn't actually make real effort and change. So the way that we can use the practice of surrender isn't to give up and to just be like, well, let go and let God. It's like one of those things where I'm just like, no, like work with God to make shit happen. Like, what are you doing? Like, the surrender it's surrendering and recognizing that you don't necessarily have control over everything, but if you work together with your source connection, then you and your source can make the change that needs to happen. It's not about just like, fucking writing some shit on Instagram and then like having it be completely fine. It's about surrender is about working with God and not trying to do it all by yourself. the ego is what leads you to believe that you can do everything on your own and you don't have to have help. But the surrender here is to surrender that control and recognize that a little help's okay, and to ask for what you need, and to recognize in each present moment that you can be in this space without having to have constant control and be right all the time and be forceful with your action. There's a line from a Fish song, and it's, surrender to the flow, right? So a lot of the time we spend all these days imagining ourselves, or we are little ice cubes. So we're always water in some way, but when we're not surrendered, we're all tight and we're ice cube like, and we're still floating down the stream. We're just tight and we're not allowing ourselves to melt and just let ourselves, another Fish song, split open and melt, let ourselves just flow down the stream and allow ourselves to just be free. So, giving yourself the space to be in your full experience, laying your worries down and just being and go and do what you have to do. It's like enjoying the sunset without any control over whether or not, the sunset happens whether you choose to watch it or not. So it happens at the same time. You don't have control over when the sunset starts and when it ends. That's just a matter of the sun. Same thing with, looking at stars, being present in the moment and just watching for shooting stars to come through and for comets and, exciting experiences. Taking a walk in the woods, laughing with loved ones. These are all times in which we've let down all of our ego junk and we're just living in our heart space. We're allowing our heart to expand, open, and be where we are led from, instead of closing off to the world and trying to be right and worried and fearful. Consistently taking the effort to release while simultaneously releasing effort. So, we need to be focused on the release and don't effort toward anything. So effort to the release and no effort, all at the same time. It's like finding the ease within the edge and the edge within the ease. It's yoga, yoking, balance, bringing everything into center. I already talked about the ice cubes thing. Sometimes I get ahead of my notes because I just get really excited. So, all right. So during this time of unrest and frustration and fear, finding a way to flow with the moments instead of fighting your way through upstream. Pick your battles wisely. So, know when it's time to stand up and to be like, all right, source, let's go fight for what we believe in. And other times to recognize that sometimes you're fighting just to have more control. You're fighting to not be able to, you're just fighting from your ego. You're not fighting from your heart. You know the difference. How you know when you're not right and you're still arguing to the point of the fact that you're right? Maybe that's only me, but I'm pretty sure other people have that same feeling. But then there's times when you know that you're right and what you believe in is so valuable to you and so strong, you're fighting with your heart versus fighting with your head. Head is where your control is. Heart is where your surrender lies. Ego, love. So if we can find a space to live in that heart-centered space, it doesn't mean we just lay back and let life happen. It means that we are experiencing life fully from the place of your heart instead of trying to control every single aspect of what happens in life. So we want to be able to find extraordinary moments within the ordinary times. And right now we're far from ordinary, but we want to be able to find the extraordinary moments in those, in these days, and right now we're in our holiday season, which is ordinarily stressful, right? So every year up until 2020, we've been dealing with stress at the holidays, right? Whether we can choose to not be a part of it, but a lot of us choose to. be a part of it. And if you choose to not be a part of it, sometimes there's still elevation from other people in your life, or you have to go get presents or do. Next thing you know, you're surrounded by people that are just like losing their minds. And then we're going to go ahead and add an election year, a challenging election year, social justice, a pandemic, all this other stuff on top of it. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody has a worry. Everybody has a fear. Everybody's feeling out of control, yet no one's surrendering. So today we're going to practice surrender. That's it. It's all there's breaking point, and you have no choice. And this is kind of, at least personally, how I'm feeling. I knew that this was going to come up this week. This was going to be the week that we would work on this on surrender. But literally, so I pick oracle cards sometimes in the morning, and today my spiritual warriors card was literally the Hawaiian god of surrender. That I had 2 conversations with teacher trainees this week that both had to deal with like surrender and just letting go and giving your divine source whatever it is that you need help with. So this has been building for a while, and when I see that happen throughout the week, it shows to me that it's in the collective and in the consciousness. Now, if you're practicing this with me in 2022, you've found this recording, and you're like, oh, this looks awesome, and you're like, oh shit, okay, but I know all the other things that happened over the past 2 years, and I have no idea what's going to happen in the future. But right now, wherever we are, I'm sure we can find a space where we need to let go and we need to surrender. But in December of 2020, we are 100% in the consciousness of being into a space where we have to let go. We gotta control what you can. The things that we can control are our perspective, our outlook, our reactions to things, responding instead of reacting, our practices. We have control over the things that we do. The things that we don't have control over, we gotta let go of, and we gotta recognize the fact that it's just gotta be okay. Like there's just nothing we can do about some things. So, I think that that's just where we need to be today. So, with all that said, we're gonna start our practice, our physical practice, our asana, and as we move through, we're going to try to release effort. We're not going to focus on anything other than letting go of attempting to control. Surrendering into every moment and every posture. We're going to go ahead and actually start on our back. So you can go ahead and lie on your back. I'm going to remain seated so that you can hear me okay. But you're going to go ahead and lie down on your back. You're going to bring your arms to your sides, legs go long, come to the outer edges of your mat. And allow yourself the space to begin to let the earth support you. Whatever's underneath of you, feel that support. You can connect that to the source, whatever your source is, or maybe the earth is your source. Allow your source to hold you here. And imagine yourself as that ice cube. Tense, tight, and frozen. Maybe you physically have been holding on to this tension for so long, you don't even realize that it's there. You've been frozen in time for years and years and years, like in Encino Man. But you're in a place right now where you begin to warm your heart. And coming from that space in the center of your chest, the warmth begins to thaw out all the tension and stress in your body. You begin to let go in your feet. You release the tension in your ankles, your shins, and your calves. You surrender to the earth below you and let go of tension in your knees, thighs, quads. You release and let go in your hips, in your low back, in your shoulders. The warmth from your heart spreads into your arms, your biceps, your elbows, your forearms and wrists, down into the palms of your hands and your fingertips. The warm breath fills your belly and releases tension there and in your back. Your body as a whole completely surrenders. You let go of tension and stress in your jaw and let your tongue rest. Let your jaw go slack. Allow your eyes to become heavy and your ears to release any effort. Imagine your skin is resting on your bones. Your muscles are melted and liquefied. You become soft. Your heart is strong and powerful. It's warm and loving. As you lie here, still and releasing the ice, letting the chips fall away from your body, begin to imagine yourself as your ego. Maybe you picture yourself and you have different clothes on, or your hair is a different style, or you look maybe the same as you do right now. But this is the embodiment of your ego. It's not who you are. But look at yourself in this space and notice, does this embodiment seem happy? Does it seem sad? Is it worried and full of anxiety? Is it honest and true? Is it coming from a place of love? Or is it maybe controlling, needy, fearful? Begin to approach your ego. Maybe shake its hand, introduce yourself. With kindness and compassion, kindly say to your ego, thank you. For the next 60 minutes, I am going to put you down. And I'm going to need you to walk away. Or maybe you walk away from your ego and encourage it to stay and don't follow you. Whatever your choice is, if you encourage your ego to walk away or you walk away from your ego, begin that. Start to see your ego in the distance. Notice maybe any feelings that you have of abandoning your ego. Any sadness of letting that go. All of this is normal and natural. But over this time, we're walking toward our source. Whatever your source is, if it's love, if it's light, if it's ocean, earth, woods, nature, or if you have a picture of your personal God in your third eye vision, it doesn't matter. This is your perspective. Begin to walk toward that source and allow for them to hold you. As your ego continues to become a speck in the distance, give yourself completely and fully to your source for the next remaining parts of our practice, at least. You have the power. Through this space and time, as you continue to lie on your back, the ego in the distance, and the source presence moving closer, begin to make movements with your body. Move your feet. Roll your ankles and wrists. Maybe lift your legs up over your head. Maybe even find your way into a happy baby. And allow yourself to rock and sway. As your feet press towards the sky. And then inhale and lift those legs up. Tuck your knees towards your chest. And then as you exhale, begin to bring your knees to the right side of your body. And then using your palms, press yourself into a seated posture on your mat. In your comfortable seat here, place your hands on your knees. And again, remember, all effort is released. You're present in your body and you're allowing your source to be your guide. As you take your arms up into the air, open your breath wide, reach your fingers tall. As you exhale, bring your hands down to your sides, let your fingers touch behind you as you lift your gaze to the sky. Offering your heart outward, opening your heart up. As you exhale, round your spine, lift your arms, wrap your arms around you, bring your chin to your chest and squeeze. Inhale, lift back up, bring your hands down to your side, shoulders up, are backing away from your ears, fingers press into the earth. Tuck your navel towards your spine, and as you exhale, drop your chin to your chest slightly. Inhale, lift your gaze, lift your head and your heart. Exhale, right ear to your right shoulder. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, left ear to left shoulder. Inhale, back to center. Inhale, arms to the sky overhead. Exhale, hinge at the waist, fold softly. Let your fingers touch the earth below you. Inhale, lift your arms up to the sky. Exhale, arms down to your sides. We're going to move our way into table. Our practice today will be hopefully a constant flow of dance to allow us to connect just like that river. We'll inhale, drop the belly, lift the eyes, look up. Exhale, round the spine, bring your chin to your chest. Inhale, lift the gaze, lift the heart. Exhale, round the spine, chin to chest. Inhale, lift the heart, lift the head. Exhale, round the spine, chin to chest. Inhale one more time, head and heart lift. Exhale one more time, and as you exhale, begin to drop your hips back towards your heels and allow yourself space to surrender into child's pose. Take a few breaths here and notice where you are. Notice if you began walking back toward your ego or if you have stayed in the arms of your Creator. As you inhale, lift yourself back up. Lift all the way forward until you come onto your belly. Press your palms in, frame out your heart. Lift your head and heart up. On the next breath, use your belly, lift your hips, and then drop them back. Come back into this extended child's pose. Try to keep your elbows lifted if you can. Inhale. Exhale, move your way forward. Inhale, lift your head and heart up. Come back to Cobra. Exhale, lift your hips, drop them back towards your heels. Keep your fingers pressing. Inhale, come back forward, lift your head, lift your heart. One more round through, drop your hips back toward your heels. Inhale, lift yourself back up one more time into Cobra. As you take your next breath, curl your toes under, lift your hips, and make your way to downward facing dog. And again, remember, we want to stay present. We want to bend the knees, remain in that flow state. Allow yourself the space to move and be. As you take your next breath, in stillness, step your feet to meet your hands. Bend your knees slightly. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, roll yourself up into a standing posture. Exhale, arms down to your sides. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, right hand back, left hand to the front. Open your heart toward the right side of the mat. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, opposite side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale to the right. Inhale, arms up. Exhale to the left. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, fold down. Step your left foot back into a lunge. Inhale, lift the arms up, rise. Exhale, fold forward. Plant your fingers into the mat. Step your left foot forward. Look up halfway. Exhale, fold down. Next breath, step your right foot back. Press into the ball of your foot. Inhale, lift into lunge. Exhale, fold down. Plant your fingers. Step your right foot forward. Inhale, look up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift and sweep your fingers to the sky. Exhale, fold right back down. Flowing through. Inhale, look up. Exhale, fold forward, plant your palms, step both feet back. Drop your knees if you need to, lower down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down dog. Flow with the hips. Maybe make some movements here. Lift and lower your feet, bend your knees, find your comfortable down dog. Walk away from your ego, walk toward your source. Inhale, step both feet to meet your hands, look up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift and rise to the sky. Exhale, right hand behind, left hand in the front. Inhale, up. Exhale, left hand behind, right hand in the front. Inhale, up. One more time. Twist. Up. Other side. Up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, fold, step the left foot back. Inhale, rise up for lunge. Maybe the elbows bend this time, the heart opens wider. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Step your left to meet your right. Inhale, look up. Exhale, fold. Step the right back. Inhale, arms up for a lunge. Exhale, fold. Right foot steps up to meet the left. Inhale, look up. Exhale, fold down. Plant your palms. Step both feet back. Move through your low flow here. Breathe naturally and normally in your downward facing dog. On your next breath, allow both feet to meet your hands at the top of the mat. Inhale, look up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift and sweep your fingers all the way up to the sky. Little back bend. Exhale, bring your arms down. Shoulders roll back and away. From here, on the next breath, we're going to inhale, lift the arms to the sky. Exhale, switch your palms so that they face out, and then sweep your hands behind you. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Press your fists together. Roll your shoulders open. Lift your head and heart to the sky. Walking away from the ego and toward your source. Let love in. Let love out. Next breath, bend your knees. And then exhale and fold. Inhale, drop your hips, lift your heart, lift your torso, release your hands, lift them up to the sky. Exhale, draw big circles with your arms. Flow, imagine you're swimming through the stream and you're just allowing the stream to take you. You're experiencing the presence of the water. It's the perfect temperature. Change directions with your arms. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look up. Exhale, fold down, plant your palms into your mat, just your left foot steps back. Drop your left knee down, walk your right foot to the outer edge of the mat. Plant your palms into the earth. Maybe you lower a little deeper for lizard lunge. Or maybe your lizard is present and exactly where you are, but wherever you are, wherever you go, surrender. You know, you listen for that ego voice in the distance to say, go deeper, or don't go deeper, or any of those reasons. But we're going to listen to the body and to the heart. Where does your heart want to be? Where do you want to surrender to? As you take your next breath, inhale, lift your hips back up, press your palms in. We're going to bring the right hand to the outside of the right foot and then sweep the right leg back long. Exhale, take this right leg, cross it over the left knee. So we're going to squeeze those knees together, really press those thighs toward each other. And then as you exhale, walk your hands out in front as you send your hips back. Any emotions that may rise up, allow yourself to experience it, label free. So just, I'm noticing that I'm feeling this way right now. I'm noticing I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling happy, I'm feeling scared. And just let yourself be with it without judgment or fear or worry that it's wrong. That's where the ego is. Inhale, lift yourself back up. Reach that right leg long again. Exhale, bring the knee down to the earth. Inhale, lift your head, lift your heart. Exhale, round your spine, chin to chest. Inhale, back to neutral. Curl your toes under, lift your hips. Come back to downward facing dog. Inhale, both feet to your hands at the top of the mat, look up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift your fingers all the way up to the sky. Exhale, arms down to your sides, and we're going to go back into this heart opener here. So inhale, arms up. Exhale, backs of the hands face toward each other, and then we sweep the hands behind. Interlace your fingers behind you. Bend your knees slightly or fully, wherever you're comfortable today. And then inhale, heart up and open. Exhale, hinge at the waist and fold. Inhale, press the fist away so you can lift yourself back up. Reach your arms to the sky. Start to draw those circles. Again, imagining that you're flowing through the river. And then change direction. Going with the flow. Last circle here. Come back to neutral at the top of your mat. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, fold down. Step just your right foot back. Walk your left foot to the outer edge of your mat. Drop your right knee down. Both hands come into the center of your mat. And then you can pause here or lower. Recognize where your surrender is and be present in that space. As you take your next breath, inhale, lift your hips up. Start to walk the left foot into the middle of your mat. Left hand to the outside of the foot, right hand to the inside. Sweep the left leg long behind you. And then as you exhale, begin to cross the left knee over the right. Squeeze your thighs together. Drop your hips back towards your heels. Breathe fully. As you take your next breath, lean back forward, press your palms in, lift the left leg back up. Exhale, bring the knee down. Inhale, lift your head and heart to the sky. Exhale, round your spine, bring your chin to your chest. Inhale, lift your head and come back to neutral. Curl your toes under and make your way back to downward facing dog. On the next breath, allow both feet to meet your hands. Look up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift, and sweep your arms into the sky. Exhale down to your side. Shoulders up, back, and down. So our balance pose today is going to be Garudasana, eagle pose. So our eagles soar. They soar above the storm. They are the ultimate, in my opinion, surrender. Because they just are above everything else. They let go of the trappings of what happens when we want to stay inside of the storm, and they release and rise above. So that's what this practice is intended to show us. To walk away from the ego and walk toward our source. Maybe the eagle is your source connection. All right, so as we take our next breath, we're going to plant our right foot into the mat. We're going to bend our knees slightly to give ourselves a nice full center of gravity. If you need a wall, please grab a wall. We're going to take the left knee and cross it over the right, just like we just did in that twisted child's pose there. We're going to bend the knee fully, tuck your navel towards your back. Inhale, arms out, and you can stay just like this. Or maybe your right arm crosses over your left. If you need to grab shoulders, go to town. Inhale, maybe the elbows lift up. Whew. Squeeze your thighs together. Simultaneous effort and surrender. As you exhale, release your arms, release your legs, and fly away. Make movements. It always feels good for me to kind of cowboy let my legs out so I can get a nice stretch of those hips. All right, next side. As you're ready, we get steady and strong on the left foot. All right, find that space. Take your right foot, cross it over, right knee, cross it over. Bend those knees, squeeze your thighs together. Tuck your navel towards your back. Inhale, arms out. Whew. As you exhale, left arm over right. Again, grab your shoulders if you need to. Palms meet. This side has been a challenge for me this week. Inhale, lift the elbows up. As you take your next breath, release the arms, release the legs, and let it all go. All right, from here, we're going to come back to the top of our mat. We're going to inhale, lift the arms up to the sky. Exhale, hinge at the waist and fold forward. Inhale, look up and out halfway. Exhale, fold down. Press your palms into the earth, and you can move through a flow, or wherever you go. We're going to meet in child's pose. Taking a moment to rest, surrender, release, let go of the effort. Let go of the need to be in control. As you take your next breath, inhale, lift yourself back up. Come back to table. Walk your knees over to the right side of your mat, and then exhale and allow your body to settle toward the earth, or onto the earth. So once we're here, let's allow the soles of the feet to press into the mat. Bring your hands to your sides. And our bridges today are going to be flowing, so that as we're still floating down this river. So with our flowing bridges, we're going to press our heels in. Inhale, lift the hips up. Exhale, lower the hips down. Inhale, lift the hips up. Exhale, lower the hips down. If at any point you want to add the arms, add them intuitively in whatever feels good to you. Just allow yourself to flow within your breath. Remember, we're simultaneously placing effort and releasing effort. Letting go and allowing our source to do it with us. We are not the one. We are the one, but we're not the only one. We have other people that can work with us. We have other sources of energy that can help us. We don't have to do it alone. Even though it might feel like we're lonely, we don't have to be alone. We can invite in the presence of a power greater than us and surrender to that. As you take your next breath, allow for your hips to settle toward the floor. And then we'll rock our knees from side to side in a windshield wiper type motion. As you take your next breath with your knees stacked, allow them to settle to the left side of the mat. You can place your left hand on your belly and your right hand on your heart to give you a deeper connection within your body. Connecting to the power of your love and the love of who you are. Inhale, bring your knees back to center. Bring your arms back out to your sides. Exhale, allow your knees to settle to the opposite side, and maybe your left hand comes to your heart this time as your right hand comes to your belly, or maybe you feel just as comfortable doing the right hand to the heart, left hand to the belly. Inhale, release your arms back out to your sides. Bring your knees back together. Tuck your knees towards your chest if that feels okay. We're going to come back into that happy baby. Bring your knees toward the floor. You can grab your toes, or you can grab the outsides of your feet, or you can grab your ankles. Whatever's more comfortable in your own personal body. And then just allow yourself to rock and sway. Fully surrendered. Moving with the flow. As you take your next breath, lift your feet above your head. Allow the lymph to flow down. Allow the blood to flow down towards your heart so that your heart doesn't have to effort so hard. As you take your next breath, begin to allow for your legs to sink to the floor. Bring your arms down to your sides as we return to the space of Shavasana, the ultimate surrender. Again, we'll scan through the body. And as you lay back, start to allow yourself to release all effort again. Recognize here how often you're choosing suffering over freedom. How often you're choosing the ego over love, over source. And just allow yourself to just simply be. Again, without effort, without anything else. How can you just be present? Let go of any tension or stress you're holding in your feet. Let go of tension and stress you're holding in your ankles, your shins, and your calves. Let go of the stress and tension that you're holding in your knees, in your low back. Let go of the stress and tension in your hips, in your belly, Continue to allow for your heart to warm your arms, your biceps, elbows, forearms, wrists. The palms of your hands become loose. Your fingers release effort. Your heart warms your throat. Your jaw becomes slack. Your teeth separate from your jaw, from each other. Your nostrils, your ears, your eyes all become heavy. Your skin begins to drape on your body. Find a space where you're fully able to melt. Intentionally and slowly begin to deepen your breath. Use this breath as energy to start to bring life back into your body. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Draw circles with your wrists and your ankles. Make the movements to bring you back to life. With intention, when you're ready, begin to roll over onto your side and press yourself back to your seat. With your eyes remaining closed and your hands at your heart, I just want to thank you for joining me in practice. Thank you for surrendering and for being open to surrender. It's with all the light in me that I can see and honor all the light in who you are and what you bring. And I bow to you. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thanks, everybody. So I'll be here again next week. It'll be a whole new 60 yogic minutes. It'll be a one-off because after the holidays I'm going to start a new series. So, but I'm really glad you could be a part of this series. And as always, if you want to know anything else, let me know. Send me an email, Kristen@seedsofloveyoga.org. Or info@seedsofloveyoga.org. They both go in the same inbox. So, but thank you again for joining me. I hope you all have a great day. Yeah, peace out.